Those will be my two questions.
Okay, Senator Sifuna, then Senator Marum. I had hoped that there's another way to ask that question, Governor, because I've seen the schedule that you have attached at Annex 1A, bank payment schedules. You've seen all these people are earning a net pay of 12,473 and they work in the medical department. That's what it says. So maybe you just tell us what these people do on a day-to-day. And then secondly, Governor, if you look at the committee recommendation, and this is where the chair was coming from, the committee recommended that you expedite the regularization of all temporary staff engagements through the now functional County Public Service Board, and immediate steps should be taken to issue letters of appointment to the 411 casuals whose recruitment has been completed. So if you appear a day before those letters are issued and you want to demonstrate that you actually follow the committee recommendations, you just bring a documentation that will show those steps that you've been taking. The advertisement, the shortlisting, any of those things, so that the bank schedules here really don't help us as much as those ones would have helped us. And it is very suspicious when somebody says it will be ready tomorrow, knowing today is the day of the meeting and we will not be here tomorrow, Governor. So I think that is what was expected from you as. Okay. Do you want to respond, or you take the Vice Chair's question first?
Mine is just one small thing, just following from what the Vice Chair said. You know, in this query, the auditor said that they did not have documentation for audit review, like letters of appointment on the temporary employees. And now the explanation was these were inherited from the defunct local authority.
It is raised by 500 million. It may appear to be significant against our budget, but all the county budgets are suppressed because the county revenues are not enough, just like national revenues, the shareable revenues. So yes, 500 million is significant, but if you were to ask the ideal budget for running Migori County, for running Nairobi, Taita Taveta, I don't know about Nairobi, they have a better on-source revenue. We actually ought to be spending more on revenue, but harder times. So the number seems significant, and we hopefully will compensate when we fully achieve our on-source revenue target. And there is something we are doing about on-source to achieve the on-source revenue target.
You see, out of that 500 million on temporary employees, those are 4 times increase from 34 to 141. Now, Auditor, I think you need to also drill into this so that you have clarity. Counties will hide under the percentage. So their percentage is 38%, which does not look to be too bad. But if you go into the details, you'll find specific expenditure lines with very, very insane increases. A 4 times increase on temporary employees should raise the flag. A 17% increase on permanent employees should also invite some questions. Auditor, is it something you have a view on, or it's something that you can look at much deeper? Because I know it is not part of this report, but it's something that cannot escape our attention as a Senate.
In fact, yeah, auditors, you are auditing. When you see that leap, big leap of 400, 500 million, what do you look at? There might be new employment, or maybe implementation of CBAs and so on. So if it is new employment, it must be accompanied by some things like needs assessment. You know, maybe there are some hospitals that have been opened, some new ECD centers that have been opened, some new employment, which then culminates into that. Or how do you then do your audit? How do you do your audit when you see that leap?
Yeah,
Auditor?
Thank you, Chair. For us, when we do the audit, of course, as you said, we look in terms of the comparative. As you pointed out, you see the previous figure that has been reported, which has already been audited, and again, the current now, maybe the financial year. So the question is, if there is a growth of an expenditure, there must be an there must be underlying explanation for that. So if there are cash flows, you see, like now the way they are saying that the cash flow has been there 400,000, and you can see even the figure of 141, we are referring to those 400 cash flows. So there must be an explanation as to why the figure is going up. And for us, when we do the audit, we even are bound in terms of that growth of those figures. We'll not just concentrate on the wage bill, as you say, but we look in terms of the items, in terms of the expenditures. And that's how we look at it.
So might we find the answer on this when we come to non-compliance with fiscal responsibility principle on wage bill? Are we going to find the answer? Because there was a growth from 34% to 38%. Maybe we look at that and see whether there's an answer to the question that we're raising.
I'm also being given additional information about the temporary workers. One, there was also an increase in what they were being paid earlier. I think about during this epoch, it was about 10,000 per person. It went to 14, but the net is 12.5. So that is also there in terms of these temporary workers. And
Governor, why don't we just look at what you responded to, because it's tied to the substantive finding on fiscal responsibility. But before then,
Chair, I think, Governor, maybe somebody can assist you to write down so that we don't need to go back. The issue of 3.9 million, we are not commended. Chair, just to build upon the question I had asked, looking at note number 11 on compensation of employees, it grew from 2.9 billion to 3.2 billion in this year under review. And that year, the transfer from CRF was 8.5 billion. So, Governor, my question would be, you had indicated in your answer that some of these temporary staff were in municipal. Some of them were inherited. So to build on what the chair has asked, this significant, and I invite you to look at your own financial statements. I think the financial statement and note number 2 on compensation of employees, page number 36, that increase from 34 to 141 million. Yet in your answer, you had said most of these temporary staff were there even before you joined. What caused this significant growth? Because I can see in your answer, the action plan, you have said further, the board is considering recruiting additional 600 temporary staff to meet the staff needs of various departments by 30th December 2025. Governor, you are already at 3.2 billion in this year under review. One, you have said majority of temporary staff were inherited from the previous municipalities, but from the compensation of employees, that has grown by 4 times. So my question is, you need to say something about that, and this question of additional 600 temporary staff, will it not grow the compensation of employees from the year, I don't know the current one, because it's 2 years, 3.2 billion then, that was used as a compensation towards employees in page 3 on your own financial statements. So will it still keep going up, considering that maybe Salat, what is the revenue potential of Migori County? Because in the answer of the governor, he has said he will work hard by ensuring that they collect more. So maybe you can just say the revenue potential through the chair, and then the governor can answer my 2 simple questions.
Maybe you should respond on the actual, because the percentage is based on actual rather than the potential. Okay. And the actual we had demonstrated earlier, yes, that was even a shortfall of 70 million. So, no, but you have asked a fair question, which we can deal with some things with specificity, but also the governor can give us a broad picture, because we are used to counties at 55%. At Kisi was, we were arguing whether it was 60 or it was lower. I think neighboring counties like Homa Bay could be on 50-something%. I think Sia is at 30-something%. Now, you have moved Migori from a very healthy 34% to an unhealthy 38%. So I thought that you were going to make things better going to Migori. So deal with the specific issues, but then also paint for us a global picture to ensure that we go back to the 35%.
Maybe, Chair, just before you allow, maybe just have this alert for my own comfort to tell us what is the revenue potential. Remember, your county was talking about revenue potential, but they were under collecting. But when we removed the FIF, we realized they were under collecting after the new act. Maybe you can just go on record what the revenue potential was.
So
thank you, Chair. The revenue potential for Migori County is 915 million. So in the actual, they are collecting a third of the potential. Thank you.
You know, you guys, well, it's not, I don't think it's your figure, it's a CRA figure, isn't it? Yes. The revenue potential. Yes, yes. It needs to be reworked with facility funds out of the picture. Because some counties are reporting very huge collections from health facilities. And we have listened to the president say that nobody should charge a fee in level 1, level 2, level 3, including level 4. But we still find in your financial statements collections from those facilities. So who is telling the truth? Is it the president
we are
or is it the governors?
We are telling the truth, and the president is also not lying. And I'll tell you how. When you the president is not lying on this, and we are telling the truth. When you do not charge a fee on level 1 and 2, normally when a registered SHA person appears before those facilities, there is a refund. I think it's once in a year. What is it called? It has a name, about 1,000 per person. It covers for that. So basically, there is revenue from all those.
Is it the capitation?
Capitation, yes, you have the right word. So when many people attend a health facility, for instance, in my village called Manyata, there is one called Nyasori, and probably there is one in another village, the more they attend, the more the capitation is. That should meet that need. So it still generates revenue. So when the president says don't charge, yes, there is